welcome back. I am Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? So I want to talk to you about something. I'm not on Snapchat, and I know social media can play a huge influence on people's relationships. So one of my sons, we won't name names, had added so many girls to his Snapchat account that he had to add or create a second account. Seriously, like, I was like, honey, I mean, I guess that's the way you meet people nowadays, but yet on the other hand, is that the way you want to meet people? The two people he has met on there have been a little bit off their kilter, so I'm just like, why don't you find somebody like local? But seriously, like, and I know there's nice local girls on there, but why do you have to max out your account? So here's the thing. I know people who want to be on the top of their significant other's Snapchat account. Okay? So when somebody who, I guess it shows you. I didn't know this. I don't have Snapchat. But so she wants to be the top of his Snapchat. But meaning he snaps her the most. But when you're with somebody and you're constantly together, it's like texting across the room. Sometimes it's really stupid. Like, my husband does that to me because the kids are around and I'm just like, really? But, you know, to be the top of somebody's snap means you're not there, right? So these kids have to learn that it's not about who's at the top of the list, it's who's beside them. Who's doing all the extra fun things, you know, like riding horse and going in the tractor and, you know, all these things. Who's doing the extracurricular activities with this person, per se, instead of getting snapped? I mean, I'd rather, you know, be with somebody than be getting a message, you know, okay, a letter when I grew up. But you know what I'm saying? You'd rather be with the person. Yeah, and I don't know how it's almost, I don't know if that's a thing with Facebook or with this social media stuff or what, but it's not. You can't look at it that way. I mean, I know people who have been married 10, 15, 20 years, and they're still pissed about who their spouse dated in high school. Get over it. Look at who you're with. I got some weird, I don't know if they're fuzzballs or what. Look at who you're with. It's who you're with that counts. It's not who they had relationships with previously. And everybody has a past. Some people have bigger skeletons in the closet than others. It's just how it is. You know? So you can't look at, you know, and be jealous about somebody who's 20, who's been, you know, out of your spouse's life for 20 years. Crazy. That's just childish, stupid stuff. Get over it. Yeah, I'm a little peeved about some things that have been going around in my house with more, you know, multiple people. So this is wrong. This is just trying to divide families. And you need to see who is, you know, do you want to spend a lot of time with somebody, or would you rather just sit and snap them from afar? Not me. Not me. So, yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Okay. 3 things. Be kind, be forgiving, and be you. Okay, here is my lye water. It is more of a tea. We'll call it a tea. And it contains echinacea and chamomile in there. And when you add the lye, it gets super hot and it stays this orangish brown color. It's just because of the botanicals. Okay, it really doesn't have any effect on the soap. Now this is my oils, which are infused with roses, chocolate mint spearmint, gotu kola, and my healing salve oil, which if you want to know what those oils are, I will put the link to the video when I did that. And some heavy on the kale and clay. Sometimes I do like to do bentonite, but I forget. I've only done it once with bentonite. I thought it was a really great soap, but I love the kale and clay, so you can't beat that. So this is a really short, I mean, simple, not much to it. Watch this orange. Watch the lye water. It's just this orange color. Yeah. But this soap is so wonderful on the skin. Absolutely one of my first soaps I ever did, and I was ecstatic when it turned out. But it really is. You can't ask for a better herbal healing skin bar. That was my original name for it. And yeah, you can't say healing, so it's an herbal skin bar. Okay. This is going to come to trace really fast just because of all the botanicals and things in there. I am also adding to this buttermilk. As you can see, I added that at trace, and then I am adding some marshmallow root extract, which is that right there, and also some aloe vera gel. Now, if you want to use aloe vera juice, that's fine in the beginning. If you're using aloe vera gel, it is advised to use it at trace. I don't normally put it in, but every once in a while I do. Now, that is a heavy trace. That is a nice trace. I used to soap at that point all the time until I realized that, it's really hard to get beautiful swirls, and stuff when you're at that thick of a trace. But, and then it's just pour it in the mold, right? Pour it in the mold. There's really nothing else special about this. I mean, there's a lot special about this. This also contains kokum butter and shea butter and tallow and some other oils, but that kokum really just has so many good property benefits, and people are like, don't waste your money on these expensive butters for your soap and all this stuff. And it's like, I'm sorry, it does make a difference in the soap. Your oils do make a difference. And so, as you can see, I did not know what to do at the top of this. It was already so thick, and I was busy playing, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. Do we spread it out thin? Previously, it was just a straight slab, but this one, it was already really nice and thick, and I just didn't know what to do with it. So you can see all the way I play with the top of the soap. I didn't want to lose stuff if it was too, if it's, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, too far away from the sides or too high up the sides. And yeah, it was all a thing. Like, I sat there, as you can see, this is actually speeded up, playing with this, trying to figure out what in the heck was I going to do at the top. Because the top has to look half decent, doesn't it? So, there I go. That's what I did. I did that, I think, on the Rip Your Float bar way back. And I decided it was good enough for the Rip Your Float. It's good enough for the Herbal Skin Bar. Yep, touch it up just a little bit. And to cutting this bad boy, he is beautiful. Beautiful. Little funky coloring there. Assuming it's just from all the botanicals and the marshmallow root and everything in there. And it was C-popped, or it was on a heat pad. Excuse me. It was on a heat pad. Yes, but it did get heated up, and you will see that gel phase in there. And as for my intro was really actually for a different project. I'm sure you could tell that. But in thinking about all that stuff, it's, and relationships nowadays are so different than they were, when I was even a young teen adult. But it shouldn't be about who snaps you the most and who's on top of your like list or who's the number one badge winner or whatever. It's really who's beside you and who's got your back, when you need it most. Are they there for you? That's what counts. The social media doesn't count. But anyways, look at this. Beautiful. It's really hard to see that it gelled from this view, but I could see the gel. It gelled pretty much all the way through, and there are some dark spots, and you'll see it on the soap even after it's cured. And it's just, I don't know if it's the botanicals that heat it up, but if you look at the other video on the infused oils that I use for my healing salve oil, that I actually make I call it Meosporin because it's mine, Meo, not Neo, but we actually use that as our ointment to put on cuts and scrapes and bruises and everything else. My son has used it on his horse. I think my husband used it on the cats. We've put it on the dogs. So, very versatile and cheap, easy way to get away from some pharmaceuticals. But anyway, there was the soap right when it was cut. Here it is when it is cured. It is unscented, but it's a doozy. And as always, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by, and I will see you next time. God bless.